Good morning, students. Um, Here is another video lecture on the topic oxidation and reduction reaction. Okay, in the last period, we have seen that different types of chemical reaction. In that, few students they have a problem in the problem in understanding oxidation and reduction. Okay, so let us study that what is oxidation and reduction. Okay, now see, uh, the oxidation is nothing but if the substance gains uh, or if substance is added with an oxygen. Suppose if hydrogen gas plus oxygen gas combines, it means that hydrogen is added with oxygen, so it forms H2O. So this addition of oxygen, okay, is nothing but the oxidation of here the hydrogen has got oxidized. Okay, hydrogen has got oxidized. So here these things are nothing but the oxidation reaction, the reaction in which oxygen is added. It's a primary definition of oxidation is the addition of oxygen is called as oxidation reaction. So if you see the definition, if a substance gains oxygen during the chemical reaction, gains means added, in that substance the oxygen is added. So if the substance gains oxygen during the reaction, it is said to be oxidized, and if substance loses oxygen during the reaction, it is said to be reduced. Now if you see, um, the reaction in which substance loses the oxygen, for example H2O, if it is decomposed by heating, if you decompose this H2O by passing the electricity by the process of electrolysis, we have studied in the decomposition reaction. So here the product obtained is H2 plus O2. Now here what happened, oxygen is lost, so this is the reduction. Loss of oxygen is nothing but a reduction reaction. So this is how the oxidation can be defined. The one definition is the process in which oxygen is gained or is called as oxidation reaction. Now see, there is one more definition of oxidation, that if a reactant gets oxidized while the other gets reduced, during this reaction the one who oxidizes loses an electron. The one who oxidizes loses electron, means that oxidation is also uh, can be defined as if electrons are donated. If electrons are donated, then also it can be called as oxidation. Lost, donated or lost, if the electrons are lost, it means that, suppose I'll give you an example. If you see Na is giving Na plus minus 1 electron. Now in this case sodium is getting oxidized. Why? Because it can be also represented as, for example, if you um, see this one, Na minus 1 electron becomes Na plus. Now this is nothing but a loss of electron. Now Na was neutral atom, but when Na lost 1 electron, okay, when Na lost 1 electron, so it's a loss of electron from the sodium atom, a neutral atom, and because of that loss of electron also it can be called as oxidized Na. So this is the oxidation, this is nothing but the oxidation. So this is also called as, this is another definition of oxidation. Now see, if substance gains oxygen or loses hydrogen, okay, that is also called as oxidation. See another definition, the substance gains oxygen or loses hydrogen. So we have seen earlier that gain of oxygen is also called as gain of oxygen, it means the addition of oxygen in some substances is also called as oxidation. At the same time, if on addition of oxygen, if the hydrogen is lost, then that is also called as oxidation. Loss of hydrogen is also called as oxidation. So if the substance loses oxygen and gains the hydrogen during the reaction, then it is opposite of oxidation, that is reduction. So now here oxidation ki definition, there are three definitions of oxidation. Now I'll clear it here. See, I'll just go to the blackboard. Okay, now if you see the first definition of oxidation, okay, see, uh, addition of oxygen. Okay, this is the first definition, addition of oxygen. Second definition is loss of electrons. Okay, if substance loses an electron, if substance loses electron, then also it is called as oxidation. And the third definition is let me write here. Okay, third definition is that loss of hydrogen is also called as oxidation. So there are three definitions. If I'm not clear, if I'm clear, see, the first definition is addition of oxygen. Okay, this is nothing but oxidation. What is it? Oxidation. We are trying to define the oxidation. So first definition is addition of oxygen, second definition loss of electron, and third is loss of hydrogen. So these are all the parts and parcel of the oxidation reaction. Okay, these are all the types of oxidation or definitions of oxidation. You can say that these are the ways by which oxidation can be defined. Now see, we'll go to the another point, that reduction. What is the meaning of reduction? Reduction क्या होता है? Okay, what is the reduction? Now reduction is the opposite, exactly opposite of the oxidation. Now see the definition of oxidation as we have seen earlier, addition of oxygen. So here reduction means loss of oxygen. Okay, opposite to oxidation is reduction. So when we define oxidation as addition of oxygen, here we can say loss of oxygen. Okay, is the reduction. Loss of oxygen is the reduction. Second thing, we have seen that loss of electron is the oxidation. Here gain of electron. Okay, here gain of electron. Let me write this one by one. First, loss of oxygen, first definition. The second type we are going to discuss, that is reduction. Let me go to the blackboard only. Okay, see here, reduction we'll try to define here. Okay, the first thing is the reduction is loss of oxygen. Second is, there was a gain of loss of electrons in the oxidation reaction. Now here gain of electron. If the electrons are gained, for example, I'm writing here the example of this. Suppose Na plus 1E, so it becomes Na. Okay, if Na is getting an electron, if Na gains an electron, so that can be called as reduction reaction. If oxygen in the oxidation reaction, electrons were donated. Now here in the reduction reaction, what is happening? Electrons are gained, and if the electrons are gained, then these reactions are called as reduction reaction. Okay, and then the third type of definition is addition of hydrogen. If hydrogen is added, then also it can be called as a reduction reaction. So this is the simple things, okay, which can be the simple ways by which we can define the oxidation and reduction reaction. So here let me recall these definitions. If substance gains an electron, If substance gains electron in a reaction, then it is said to be oxidized. Okay, if substance loses oxygen during the reaction, it is said to be reduced. Okay, now second thing is, if one reactant get oxidized while other get reduced. Okay, and such reaction is called as oxidation reduction reactions, or they're also called as redox reaction. And I've already defined this redox reaction earlier, that if oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously, then it is called as redox reaction. Now if substance gains oxygen, or loses hydrogen during the reaction, gain of oxygen and loss of hydrogen, then it is said to be oxidized, as we have defined just now. And if substance loses oxygen, and gains hydrogen during the reaction, it is said to be reduced. So here one simple diagram is there, okay, to understand that. Okay, one simple diagram is there. If electron donor, okay, it's said to be oxidized. What? Electron donor. Now this is the substance which donates the electron, so it is oxidation of that electron donor. And electron acceptor get reduced. Okay, if this is the electron donor, that means this is oxidizing agent. Okay, if this is the electron acceptor, it means that it is reducing agent. Now in this reaction, if you see, in this reaction, this is oxidizing agent, this is reducing agent. Okay, oxidizing agent itself get reduced, and reducing agent gets oxidized. Okay, I hope it's clear. Now in the reaction, for example, we'll take the example in the next reaction. Now see examples of redox reaction. Now if you see these different types of reaction, now Na plus Cl2, okay, this is a simple reaction where we can understand the redox, that is oxidation and reduction simultaneously. Now see, Na is getting converted into Na plus. Now as I defined earlier, what is happening? Na minus 1 electron, and because of this 1 electron lost, that means minus, so it is converted into Na plus. So you can see that Na is converted to Na plus. It means that it is loss of electrons. That means this is an oxidation. This is called oxidation. So Na has become Na plus. This is oxidation. Okay, now this, if you see the Cl2 has gained some electron. Now it is Cl2 plus 1 electron. One Cl has got one electron, so it is Cl minus. But here now Cl2, that means there are two Cls, so two Cls will get 2 electrons to form 2 Cl minus. Okay, so here 2 Cl minus matlab 2 chlorine ions. That means 2 chlorine ions have got 2 electrons. That these 2 electrons they have gained, and that's why it is called as reduction. So this is oxidation, and this is reduction. Why is it so? Because this is a loss of electron, this is a gain of electron. Now let's go to the next example. Na plus O2. Okay, Na plus O2. So it has got it has become Na2O, that is sodium oxide. So in this reaction, here addition of oxygen has taken place, so it is simply oxidation reaction. Which reaction? Oxidation reaction. So addition of oxygen has taken place, it means that it is an oxidation reaction. But at the same time it is redox reaction. Okay, because here sodium has here you can see here sodium has lost electron, and that's why it is converted to Na plus, and oxygen has gained electron, so it is converted to, it has got reduced to O2 minus. So here gain of electron, and in terms of loss of electron also we can define the oxidation reduction. So here one more reaction is given here, Na plus S, that is sodium plus sulfur. So Na is again losing the electron and converted into Na plus, that means loss of electron के बाद atom is a positive charge, that is cation is formed, and that's why loss of electrons के बाद cation form होता है, इसलिए उसको बोलते हैं reduction of sodium get oxidized, and as sulfur has got you can see here sulfur has gained an electron, so it is a reduction of sulfur. So this is how this in terms of gain and loss of electron, the redox reaction can be understood. Now see here, redox reaction examples. Here you can see there are some examples. One example is given here. Okay, see CH4, that is methane, and added with or treated with oxygen. This is simply a combustion reaction. Combustion is nothing but oxidation only. So when substance combines with the oxygen, that is called oxidation reaction. So here methane is a fuel, okay, that combines with oxygen. It means burning. It's a burning reaction. So when methane burns in the air, that forms CO2 and H2O. Now if you see here, C, that is as we have seen earlier in the 9th standard, carbon's valency of carbon is 4. Okay, now 4 minus is written. I have told you that 4 is neither plus nor minus, but here it is written here 4 minus. Why? Because you know, to get octet complete, कार्बन का जो ऑक्टेट होता है, ओके, उसको कंप्लीट करने के लिए उसने किसके इलेक्ट्रॉन ले लिए? उसके आउटर मोस्ट शेल के अंदर 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन लाने के लिए या हाइड्रोजन के इलेक्ट्रॉन उसने शेयर कर दिए. ओके, किसके इलेक्ट्रॉन? हाइड्रोजन इलेक्ट्रॉन इट हैज़ शेयर्ड. So this hydrogen's electron, as it has shared, these are the shared electrons. Shared electrons they have taken. Now you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So total 8 electrons are there, and that's why oxygen has carbon has got an oxidation state -4, and each hydrogen has lost 1 electron. That's why it is +1. Okay, now see here, these CH4, if you see, in carbon the addition of oxygen has taken place. Carbon is added with oxygen, so this is nothing but the oxidation reaction. And if you see this O2, okay, O2 is added with the hydrogen. So as we have defined earlier, addition of hydrogen is, okay, reduction reaction. Addition of hydrogen is reduction. So you can see this is a reduction, addition of oxygen is oxidation, and addition of hydrogen is the reduction. Okay, so here if I ask you what is oxidizing agent, so here you can see this O2 is the oxidizing agent. What is the reducing agent? Here CH4 is the reducing agent. Okay, now substance oxidized, here CH4 is the substance oxidized. Substance reduced, here is the O2 is the substance reduced. Okay, so here we can understand by this reaction that what is the process of which how the oxidation and reduction taking place together. That means redox reaction. Okay, now in the next reaction we can also identify, try out this reaction, that is carbon plus oxygen CO2. We can identify reduction and oxidation, Mg plus N2 Mg magnesium nitride. We can understand, just try out this and identify oxidation and reduction in the given reaction. So just try to identify the oxidation and reduction in these 3 reaction. Okay, note down in your notebooks and just try to identify, okay, as this reaction mentioned here. Now let us go to the next point, that is corrosion and rancidity. Now see, in the day-to-day life we have seen that this oxidation it's a very common process. It generally takes place in the day-to-day life. Now when any metal, okay, when any metal combines with oxygen, okay, that is in common language or in the chemical language, in the chemistry language, it is also called as corrosion. Okay, so when a metal is attacked by the substance around it, such as moisture, okay, now moisture especially contain the oxygen gas. Okay, mostly the air contains oxygen and water vapors. So these, when metal is attacked by these substance, okay, when metals are attacked by the substances around it, such as moisture and, okay, moisture or acid. Okay, now say when metal combines with acid, then also they get corroded. When metal combines with moisture and oxygen, then also it gets oxidized. So it is said to be, when substance around the substance is attacked by the moisture and acid, it is said to be corroded, and this process of the corrosion is called as this process of getting corroded by the presence of acid or moisture around the metal, this process is called as corrosion. So the black coating on the silver and the green coating on the copper are other examples of corrosion. Now if you see the copper, now copper is getting converted into black. So if you see the heat the copper, it combines with the oxygen, and the black coating of copper oxide is formed on the copper surface. So that is nothing but the oxidation, or it can be also called as corrosion. Or a silver and a green coating on the copper uh, also is the example of corrosion. Now green coating on the copper generally takes place by the help because of the presence of, now if you see copper when combines with H2O and CO2, then it forms CuOH twice plus, एक minute, let me change the pen so that you can see it clearly. Okay, C Cu plus H2O plus CO2. Now these two factors are necessary for the plus oxygen also here. These factors, okay, when they combine with copper, when they expose to copper, when a copper exposed to these three factors, the substance formed is, okay, the substance formed is CuOH twice plus CuCO3, and the mixture of this is green. Mixture of these two is green. That is, it is called, actually copper hydroxide is the base, CuOH twice is base, and along with the CuOH twice there is a CuCO3, that is copper carbonate. So mixture of this looks green, and that's why the green coating is seen on the copper vessels. Now you can see that when we that your parents might be using that one utensils of coppers for storing the water, so after few days it turns green. That is because of the coating of the oxygen, carbon dioxide and moisture on the copper vessels. So this is also called as corrosion. Now corrosion actually causes the damage to the car bodies. Okay, you can see this car body. Okay, the car bodies are bridges, iron railings, okay, ships, then all these objects are made up of mainly iron. So iron actually, I'll show you the some of the other images, okay, where this it can be seen very clearly. Now if you see this these bolts, okay, these screws are there, okay, they are exposed to these parts of machineries, okay, they are exposed to this moisture and air, oxygen and moisture. So you can see that how they have been eaten up. You can see that they are eaten up by the sort of eating or corrosion. This is called as corrosion of the metals. Now these metal pipes are there, when they expose to this surrounding, you can see this bolt also, okay, it's getting corroded. Okay, so wearing and tearing. Now if you see this lock, for long time it has been exposed to the moisture and air, so it has got a corrosion on it. Okay, so this is how this corrosion takes place. So corrosion causes damage to the car bodies, bridges, iron railings, ships and all the other objects made up of metals, and especially those of iron. So iron mostly get corroded very fast. Okay, and this is very serious problem. Okay, this is very serious problem. Because of this corrosion, day by day iron gets weakened, its strength is lost. Okay, so this is very dangerous process. So when fats and oils are oxidized, now see, metals के केस में we call it corrosion. Okay, metal के केस में we call it a corrosion. But then how to prevent this in case of some this also causes this oxidation. Corrosion is nothing but oxidation, because addition of oxygen is also taking place in the corrosion. But if the addition of oxygen takes place in another substances, like when fats, now in your food there is one ingredient, that is fats. So when fats and oils are oxidized, then they become a rancid. What is the meaning of rancid? So rancid is nothing but a smell and taste of that particular fatty food changes to very dirty. So the smell also becomes very dirty, and the taste of that food item which contains the fat also becomes very dirty. So bad odor and bad smell, sorry, bad odor means smell. So bad odor is produced by the food because of the oxidation of fats present in the food. that is called rancidity. So usually substance which prevents the oxidation, that is antioxidants, are used to preserve the food for long time. Okay, for example, these oils and food is stored in the presence of some chemical preservatives like sodium metabenzoate. Okay, then sodium metabisulfite. These are the antioxidants which are used to prevent the oils and fats. Okay, generally if you see the your chips packets, okay, they are also filled with nitrogen. So here nitrogen act as antioxidants. Nitrogen does not allow the oxidation of that chips. Okay, so when you break the or when you open that chips packet, you see the air comes out. That actually is not air, it is a nitrogen gas. That is, nitrogen gas is filled because nitrogen prevents the rancidity, means when fats combines with oxygen, it turns bad smell. Okay, it gives the bad smell, it turns the rancid means it gives the bad smell and bad taste. So that process of turning the bad odor and bad taste is called as rancidity. How the rancidity caused? Because of the oxidation of fats and oil present in the food. So if you want to prevent this, you can fill the food with the nitrogen. Okay, that where the nitrogen act as a antioxidants. You can store the food in the airtight containers. Okay, so that also can prevent the oxidation. Okay, so these are the different ways by some chemical preservatives. Okay, like sodium metabenzoate. Okay, sodium metabisulfite. So these are the some of the other chemical preservatives. Okay, which can be used for the prevention of rancidity. Okay, now see this corrosion. Now we have seen how to prevent the rancidity, but now how to prevent the corrosion. So corrosion also can be prevented. Now if you see, the fact that corrosion caused is the presence of these conditions like moisture and air around the metals. So if you cut off the contact of these things like moisture and air from the metal, so automatically corrosion can be prevented. So to cut off the contact of this atmospheric factor which causes the corrosion, we can apply the paints. Okay, on the iron surface. Okay, or the metal surface, we can apply the paints. Oil and grease can be applied. Okay, so that also can prevent the corrosion. Okay, which is also normally called rusting. In our local language, it also called as rusting. So applying paints, oil paints, applying grease and oil. So oil and grease or paints forms a layer on the metal surface, and that prevents the contact of metal surface with the atmospheric conditions, and which prevents the corrosion. Now there are another methods like electroplating is there. Okay, electroplating process is there. After electroplating, we have a alloying process. Okay, so pure metal gets corroded, but when metal is mixed with another metal, or when one metal is mixed with a non-metal, then it can be its property changes. Okay, and when its property change, that process of mixing metal with another metal or metal with non-metal is called as alloying process. So this is how we can prevent the corrosion also and rusting also. So this was the last topic of this chapter.